after months of bad marketing, bad PR on the part of Creative Assembly with the Chaos Warriors DLC, the Blood DLC, not having blood in a Warhammer game, that coming out in a DLC later on, and the unimpressive display of, the things they've shown in the campaign, the things they've shown in the battles. People were not impressed with the latest quest battle, the Azag, the Slaughter battle. A lot of people were unimpressed. They've been doing a lot of damage control with Total Warhammer. They've tried to get people convinced that, it's gonna be good, right? We're making these decisions for a reason. People are not convinced. They don't trust Creative Assembly. The trust people have in Creative Assembly is lowered, and even the fanboys have kind of lost interest, right? Not that they won't defend them, it's just people are losing interest in this game. So, what do? What's Creative Assembly's response? Well, they've tried blog posts, they've tried videos, it didn't work. So what do? They delayed the game by a month. So that's the first thing. A month delay, it's gonna come out in May versus April. Good. So 1 month. And then they release the system requirements. And in those system requirements is the one good thing, and possibly the biggest change in Total War series since Empire. Total War is going from 32-bit to 64-bit. Now, technically, in theory, this should allow the game to run much better than previous Total Wars. In theory, if they can use the potential as 64-bit. Whether or not they actually do that, we have no damned clue. And they also gave system requirements for what kind of system you need to actually get 20 units versus 20 units in a battle, get over 60 FPS in that battle at 1080p. You would need an i7-4790K, which is one of the latest ones, at 4 GHz, so that's overclocked, 8 gigs of RAM, 35 gigs on the hard drive, and a Fury X or GTX 980. For 1080p. And they also showed the video options, what the presets are, what ultra preset is. They had they had the field off as the ultra preset. That's generally not the performance impact, but they have the Vignette off, and that also isn't the performance impact. But they did have one thing: screen space reflections is off for all these presets, and that can draw some of the performance away, and that's on ultra. Everything's set to ultra. So just point to be made right there when it comes to Total War Warhammer. How do I feel about it? Well, it's about goddamn time. Attila should have been 64-bit, or even Rome 2 should have been 64-bit. And honestly, the fact that they took this long, and the fact they delayed the game to actually make this happen, I imagine. I think they were leaning towards making it, but maybe at a later day, maybe they thought they could get away with not having it 64-bit. But they're in a bind, and if Total War Warhammer doesn't sell very well, they probably are going under. So there's obviously an interest for them to not screw this over. And, people have lost interest. People are unhappy with the changes they've made. So this is a good piece of news. Will it be enough to actually save Total War Warhammer? Well, this is something this is just a part of the problem. And honestly, in the large scheme of things, in terms of the fundamentals of gameplay of Total War being completely broken and outdated, and them not fixing and improving the series since Medieval 2, this doesn't change much, really. It really doesn't change much. They really need to look at things from a broader perspective. Like, when you've got games like Ultimate General, Gettysburg, and Scourge of War, Waterloo, which I probably should play on this channel. When you've got those kind of games, just being an improvement in a good number of ways versus Total War, then quite frankly, this series is just basically Call of Duty at its lowest point, when they were chugging out Call of Duties one after another just to be greedy cunts, and that was Activision. And that's what Creative Assembly has been doing. The fact that they've gotten so much negative publicity and so much, and people have been trashing them for months, ever since the whole thing with the Chaos Warriors, the fact that they took a stance on it means that it's having an effect, a positive effect, for all the fanboys who slammed that video, and the people who are angry, for all the fanboys that for years have thrown bile at us, those people that are sick and tired of the bullshit that Creative Assemblies engages in, you might just get a better game because of the complaints we've had. Or the company might go under. Or you might get a better game, but doesn't sell well because, well, the company screwed up and their publicity hasn't been all that great. That's kind of what I had to say on this particular subject. We have to wait and see what they ultimately do with regards to Total War Warhammer, what kind of state it comes in, the performance, and obviously there's still the scumminess of Chaos Warriors, there's still the scumminess of Blood DLC and all that stuff. And there's some really piss poor decisions that they've made as a company. Will it be enough? It's just a small thing. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. We'll see.